Hello, I'm Associate Professor Ligia Moga, and together with Associate Professor Marcel Magyar, we have written this paper. Due to the facts that latest researches and statistics are indicating an increase of the primary energy consumptions and implicitly of the CO2 emissions, it is mandatory at the worldwide level that the concept of high-performance energy-efficient buildings to be clearly defined. Thus, both in Europe and in the US were developed several policies and plans for tackling the development of the high-performance energy-efficient buildings. In other countries around the globe, Latin America, India, and China, which are known to be high energy consumers, although that the trend is known and several approaches were made, there still lacks a clear policy compared to what Europe and US have done. The European climate strategies and targets define several deadlines up to 2050 in order to reach a low-carbon economy. Although several definitions were proposed for nearly zero energy buildings along the years, some European countries defined the nearly ZEBs based on the primary site energy approach, while other countries use carbon emissions as the main indicators. In Romania, the nearly ZEBs levels for primary energy and CO2 emissions were defined based on 5 types of buildings for each of the 5 climatic zones and 2 targeted deadlines. Several institutions from the US have developed a new tool called the Life Cycle Energy Performance Framework for series and also a companion toolkit that can help users lead by example by getting on a path to zero energy and zero carbon in their own buildings. DOE developed a common national zero energy building definition with supporting nomenclature and guidelines to facilitate its use and also set targets for 2020 to achieve marketable zero energy homes and by 2025 commercial zero energy buildings. Considering the debate over various terms, it is worth mentioning the additional definition proposed by Torcellini et al. In 2006 and later in 2011. Rigva has also addressed the technical definition of nearly ZEBs, while Ashray considered that net zero site energy satisfies the path towards high-performing buildings. Other definitions found in Europe are zero carbon buildings, positive energy buildings, and climate neutral buildings. As mentioned by D'Agostino, ZEB can also be defined based on the energy production source. The way that the definitions are applied around the world leads to several differences and sometimes barriers in applying these requirements, as it is the employ technical solutions, the primary energy interpretation, the calculation methodology of the energy performance of buildings, the percentage of the renewable energy in the energy mix, the transfer of the energy efficiency building codes to implementation phases, the end user operating practices, and others. Entering a new decade, nearly ZEB and ZEB must be a priority in energy consumption policies and adoption of energy-efficient building codes. The nearly ZEB definition could suffer several adjustments, existing a possibility to be updated closer to the definition of a net plus energy building. Nevertheless, with an increase in the number of nearly ZEB in the next 20 to 30 years, the nearly ZEB status will become more of a common standard and gain a definite place on the buildings market.